difficult to make profits. The costs are tough to mitigate.
Manufacturing, a cornerstone of Connecticut's economy. Electric Boat, Pratt & Whitney, Sikorsky, really anchors in our state.
However, some smaller companies say they're facing challenges. Your reporter Dylan Fearon live right now in New Britain to explain the significant double whammy here. Dylan?
Well, Mark, Eric, good evening. We are live right outside Stanley Black & Decker's production facility. Back in February, the company said it'd be closing this facility and laying off 300 workers. So it got us thinking, what's the current state of the manufacturing industry in Connecticut right now? Not just with the bigger companies, but the smaller ones, too. It's lunchtime, and the gang at Dri-Air Industries is working hard, making equipment for the plastics industry. Been around since 1974, Jason Sears has created a strong 30-person team with a family atmosphere in East Windsor. But there are challenges. Costs are rising. Connecticut has some of the highest industrial electric rates in the country. The state's insurance department approved increasing employee health care premiums for small businesses. That may be part of why the 2025 Connecticut Manufacturing Report claims 82% of manufacturers in the state say it's hard to find and keep workers. Tariffs, taxes, supply chain pressures don't help. Now, tack on gas prices and utilities, it all impacts the business, the employees, and customers.
Gas prices, with utilities, with health insurance, all these are factors that affect us that end up affecting our employees, our customers. It can be difficult to make profits. Certainly we do make profits because we wouldn't be here if we weren't. It was easier in the years past, but now you really have to focus on everything that you're doing so that you have the right amount of people, you're as efficient as possible. But yeah, it could be difficult for a company to make it nowadays.
So what can companies do? Well, some have to lay people off, some leave the state, some shut down altogether. And what is the state of Connecticut saying or doing about this market? And all that coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. I'm your reporter, live in New Britain tonight, Dylan Fearon, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Dylan, thank you. Eyewitness News.